What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie. Today we are doing a Dark Tranquillity album called Moments. They just released an album on the 20th of November 2020. Moment is their 12th studio album. Can you believe it? Now, Atoma was absolutely fantastic album and I absolutely adored it. And there's a few other albums that I really adore by Dark Tranquillity, but there's also some albums that I don't really like. Of course, this is not the time and day to tell you what the albums I don't like, but I really did enjoy Atoma and I loved Fiction as well. Fiction was amazing, and not to mention The Gallery, which is absolutely an amazing album. This album is a pretty solid album, it really is. Incorporate those melodic elements, but they also incorporate some really melancholic moments as well. So first of all, the production is actually pretty good. I just love the dynamic range, I love how meaty the guitar riffs are, and not to mention Mikhail's vocals on this album are absolutely fantastic. Really love the ominous keyboards and symphonic elements that are building throughout this album, just creating it quite atmospheric in tone. The tone of the snare sounds absolutely fantastic on this album, and I love how in depth the drumming is on this. So this album's around 50 minutes long with 12 tracks on it. So let's kick off with the first song, which is Phantom Days. Just love how there's such infectious guitar riffs throughout this song and how there's a really hard hitting intro. The vocals come in hard and aggressive, and I just love the overall tone of his vocals, and I just really enjoy those synth melodies. Throughout Phantom Days is a really nice solo which is quite mouth-watering, and I just love how this song is quite intense. Although this is not the best song off the album, it certainly packs a punch. It certainly packs a punch of what you're about to witness or what you're about to hear. But overall, it's a pretty good song to kick off the album. We move on to a much more melodic song called Transient. I love the ambient guitar throughout the intro, and overall the melody is very catchy throughout this song. Mikhail comes in with some incredible vocals, intense, and I just love the melodic flair that he has within his vocal tone. There's some really nice guitar lead in the chorus. There is some really good chord progression throughout Transient. Again, there's another mouth-watering guitar solo. I just love the reverb in his vocals as well, especially throughout the chorus of the song, The bridge part just makes it a really awesome song, which just really leads on to such a interesting sort of chorus, which I love. Overall, Transient is an absolute fucking banger. So then we lead on to Identical and None. I just love how the riffs are so thunderous on this. Some really nice vocal melody as well, and there's a catchy chorus with a nice guitar lead. Nice instrumental break with a solo accompanied along with his vocals throughout this song. Although I do really love how the drumming just intensifies. I just love the tone of the toms on this song, and not to mention, it's a really good song overall. The chorus is fucking catchy, it's quite melodic, it gets stuck in your fucking head, it really does, and that's why it's a fucking banger. So now we lead on to the Dark Unbroken. Dark Unbroken is quite melancholy feel. I love the ambient synth in the introduction, and I love the harsh vocals that come in with some really nice intricate guitar melodies. Now, this song is more anthemic and more uplifting in my opinion, because I love how there's a nice guitar lead, but it's incorporating a mellow chorus with clean vocals. Now, this is the first song with clean vocals on this album, and it took me by surprise. I really love his vocals on this album, I do, and I loved his clean vocals on Atoma and also Fiction, but holy shit, his vocals on this album are something very special. It reminds me of Jonas Rensky from Catatonia, especially his vocal tone. I fucking love it. I love how there's a drawing guitar solo that becomes quite frantic at times throughout this song, and this song is a lot slower tempo. What I've noticed about this album is it has a lot slower tempo songs from the previous albums by Dark Tranquillity, and this is what makes it quite melancholic and quite at times gothic, especially incorporating those synth elements. So Remaining the Unknown is an absolute fucking banger. I just love how the clean vocals kick off the song with some really nice clean guitar. There's such a really nice build up, and what I want to tell you about Dark Tranquillity's Moment is that there's such an awesome build up. Like, every single song has such an epic build up to the song. I just love the intros. I love the intros of the song. I love the harsh vocals that come in, are quite intense, throughout Remain in the Unknown with such a really nice synth melody in the background, making it quite epic. This is a very epic song by Dark Tranquillity, and it's quite uplifting as well. It's got some happy melodies at time, but also got that eerie, melancholic feel. I just love how slow tempo the solo is throughout Remain in the Unknown, with some symphonic elements building, and Martin creates these symphonic elements that are building throughout this song, which makes it quite fucking epic. It really does. There's a lot of emotion conveyed within his vocals. I love his vocals throughout this song. So we're halfway through the album already, and it's Standstill. I love how there's a prominent piano / keyboard in the intro, and the drums on this particular song sounds fucking great. They really do. Again, this is a slow tempo song, but I love the dynamic clean vocals in the chorus, but it has an infectious melody that gets stuck in your head. Now these riffs, these melodies get stuck in your head, and this is why it's melodic death metal. This is why it's one of the best melodic death albums of 2020, is because the melodies get stuck in your fucking head. The solo on this song is absolutely fantastic. It just climaxes the song like someone's just tickling your balls. You're about to climax, about to explode. This is how good this song is. It's a good song for what it is, and I just love the solo. What really reminded me of Dark Tranquillity channeling their inner catatonia is Ego Deception. What I love is how the synths are quite eerie in tone in the intro. There's such a really nice build up throughout Ego Deception. Intense vocals lead onto the song with some nice intricate drum patterns, but the chorus, man, the chorus sounds something out of catatonia. It really does. The clean vocals are very interesting in my opinion. They really are. And this is just like a new dynamic by Dark Tranquillity, where Dark Tranquillity is channeling the inner gothic. And I just love how there's such a nice doomy guitar lead throughout Ego Deception. Song picks up with a really nice guitar solo, and overall it's a pretty good song, but my god, that fucking chorus is absolutely fantastic. It's got that gothic, melancholy feel that we all love from bands such as Catatonia and even My Dying Bride. At track 8 is Drawn Out Exit. I love it. I love how there's ominous guitar riffs in the intro, and I love how the bass is finally prominent. Finally you can hear the bass within the mix. Now one negative is that the bass isn't as prominent as I would have liked, but that's alright. So the bass is quite prominent throughout this song. I just love the intense vocals that lead on to that verse. What is awesome about the guitar work on this song is the scaling. The scaling, especially in the chorus. I love the harsh vocals in the chorus with the synths creating an atmosphere, but the synths are quite low in the mix. I just love how this solo, this particular guitar solo, is quick and fast at the same times. And of course there are some really nice growls throughout this. So next up is Eyes of the World. I love the melancholy feel again, nice melody in the intro. Harsh vocals to begin in the verse, you get what I mean? It sort of sounds like a copy and paste song, you could say, but no, there are clean vocals in the chorus, and I just love how his vocals at times are quite distorted, that really create this, like he's talking through a phone or something, which I absolutely love. I love the distorted vocal leads at times, and there's such a nice guitar lead in the second verse that really builds up. Mouth-watering solo, and the solo is quite a long one, but I love how it's accompanied by that really melodic melody. So finally, track 10, it's Failstate. Failstate is absolutely a fantastic song. I love the open guitar chord throughout the intro, accompanied with an interesting synth tone, but it's quite melancholic and quite melodic. I love how the harsh vocals are in the verses with a dark overlaid guitar riff. It's one of the darkest songs off this album, but I love how the chorus is so dang sing-alongable. To the tune of the apocalypse. To the tune of the apocalypse. So damn fucking good. I absolutely love when he says to the tune of the apocalypse. So damn good. It's interesting, it's sing-alongable, and there's an awesome solo throughout Failstate. One of the best songs off the fucking album. So track 11 is Empire Lost to Time. A fantastic fucking song. I really love the drumming throughout this song as well. There's a really nice guitar melody in the intro. The growls throughout this song are absolutely fantastic. But this is a much more slower tempo song as well by Dark Tranquillity, which I feel a lot of fans wouldn't be happy about. They wouldn't be happy about how slow some of these songs are. I can name one person that wouldn't be happy with some songs that are quite slow. Synths built throughout the song, which I love, and I love how there's such an emotional guitar solo. And of course, His vocals are fucking fantastic on this. And last, what I love to call Dark Tranquillity channeling their inner catatonia, it's In the Truth Divided. This is such a beautiful song, it really is. It's very slow and it's quite doomy at times. It's very gothic, melancholic. I love the slow intro with those heavy synths, clean vocals. His vocals are fucking fantastic. I love the ambient atmospheric tones, and there's just a nice build up to the song. There's a melodic chorus and it's quite gothic as well, and the guitar sounds very similar to bands such as My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, Catatonia. The guitar tones, absolutely magnificent. Yeah, this is Dark Tranquillity's doom song in my opinion. It's a very emotional song, but his vocals are fucking fantastic, and it's a fucking great way to end off a fucking fantastic album by Dark Tranquillity. Overall, this album really took me by surprise. It really did. To be honest, Dark Tranquillity are a hit and miss band for me, and this album really took me by surprise. It really did, because I love how different this particular album was. Atoma is still my favorite Dark Tranquillity album, but holy shit, this just sort of reminds me of Atoma, but I feel like Dark Tranquillity were experimenting on this album and really adding some more flourishing guitars and some more ambient atmosphere. And overall, in the end, they produced such a solid album, they really did. So for Dark Tranquillity Moment, I will give this a 9 out of 10. It was such a fucking enjoyable album. I've listened to this about 6 times now, and I think it's fantastic. And not to mention, there are some heavy moments throughout this album, and there are some lighter moments throughout this album. I was going to give it an 8.5, but I decided to give it a 9. It definitely has to make it into my top 20 albums of the year this year. No fucking doubt. I absolutely fucking fantastic album. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Guys, comment below what you thought about this album review. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion? Keep discussion going in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.